Everybody. Oh, good. Lights on. Cool. Where am I at here? Oh, you can see my light for the show. Okay. It's all good. Okay. Hey, thanks for joining me. Wow, we got some people. Okay. Today I wanted to cover some stuff. We had a really good podcast the other day, and I wanted to go over some of that with you. But I haven't done this in a while, so we're going to do some cards. So let's do some cards. And I'm going to go through cards. It's called What's Blocking You? And so there's quite a few cards there. So I think they anticipate a lot of stuff happening. So I hope you guys can hear me. Michael, you can hear me and see me and all that. Is that a yes? Okay. We got 2 cards that came out while people are popping on. Whoa. Okay. More cards, 1, 2. Okay, so this one says too soon. You're getting too serious too soon. Get to know each other before committing fully. So that's for somebody out there. And then the other one is demanding. It's not me. You said impossible standards for your partner to meet. Be less demanding. So that's for someone out there. Those are the 2 what's blocking you cards. And then let's do an animal. I'm not very prepared, guys. Sorry. Let me go. Let me turn this way. You can still see my green screen a little bit. Okay. Try to take everything down for this show and just back to the basics. I don't need to have all these lights on me and just go back to how I normally do things. But I do have a nice mic and I do have earbuds, so I'm still getting used to that. And actually, I like the earbuds because it helps when you have people that live on the other side of you. So that they don't hear, they just hear what you're saying. They don't hear what other people are saying when you have a podcast going, which is probably pretty good. So it doesn't irritate them too much. Okay. Oh, this is so funny. We got a great animal card. Oh, got 2. Okay. So we got 2 animal cards. This one is perfect because we have the holidays coming up. And so we got the turkey card. Now, actually, and that's too funny too, because I have a beautiful gang of turkeys, male, female babies. And I feed them. Brad sent me some feed for the turkeys and they didn't like it. And so what I feed my squirrels, the turkeys seem to like. So it's give with gratitude and grace. So there you are with Thanksgiving coming up. And turkeys are awesome. I was hoping, I kind of want to scare them a little bit so they'll drop a feather because I really want some feathers. I really want some turkey feathers from them. I got a little one, but this one's so funny. If you were watched our podcast Unveiling the Truth 333, we had in Alaska there was this beaver man that was attacking people, and so we got the beaver spirit. Lay a solid foundation. So you can't make this stuff up sometimes. So lay a solid foundation. Perfect. Okay. So let's see. Also, I encourage you guys to watch Unveiling the Truth 333. It's just kind of a fun podcast where we talk back and forth. Brad has a lot of information. I have more of the spiritual information and intuitive information, as you know. And so we have a great guest coming on next Sunday, and we're pre-recording our shows. So because Robin's computer crashes during StreamYard. StreamYard takes a lot of juice. And so Brad's flying into town. We're hoping to do a couple shows while he's here. We're trying to find people to interview, like Ghostbusting people. And then there's Boise Bigfoot. I'd like to get him on the show too. So we rented out a conference room, and so we could do some podcasting. And then he wants to work on my my 2 laptops and juice them up so they have a little bit more power, because he said because this one's a brand new one. He said that this one, when I bought it for this, you and I, but when I talked to them, in my mind I was saying I want it for streaming. I guess I didn't use the right terminology because it's a beautiful laptop, but it just doesn't have a lot of power to it. So he is going to add power to it. And so we're going to post a show on Sunday, next Sunday, and it's going to be with Sharon Sananda Kumara. And I know her. I've been on her show several times. And this is her book. And let's see, Awakened Soul. She had a couple near-death experiences, one when she was young and one older. And she should be dead. Put it that way. She should be dead. She shouldn't live with what happened to her. And because she fell out, I'll just tell you, she fell out of back of a bus. The bus driver slammed on, and I guess the back of the bus wasn't secure, and she was either standing or sitting there. And then when he jerked the bus, she flew back and went through the back of the bus door, falling into traffic, and they ran over her. And so she actually should be dead, but she lived, which is crazy. And so she writes about that. And these all are my little bookmarks to talk to her about in her book. Beautiful book. I got the hardcover. And so she talks about kind of that she didn't remember her childhood because it was a abusive childhood, and that she didn't remember much about it. But after her accident and recovery, she remembered her childhood. Not crazy? And so we're going to go through a lot of things. And then she started remembering past lives, galactic lives, other places around the universe. It just like opened something up for her. And so that's what we're going to talk about. She's really, she has let's see, she changed the name of her YouTube channel, so I'll have to get it to you and I can post it. But she's just she'll be a very good guest. And then Brad, who's my co-host, he had a near-death experience also. He had a full-blown widowmaker heart attack while he was working out at a gym, and he died, and then was revived. So he will share his story too, and he shouldn't be alive also. And so I think it's quite interesting that why does this happen? Why do people have near-death experiences and then they come back with messages, changed people? It changes atheism out of people. It just changes things. And so it's a really interesting scenario. And I craved it, the near-death experiences, when I first started in my 20s. And I wanted to know as much as I could about the other side of the veil, because I was seeing people from the other side of the veil. And I really, when you have this gift, you just kind of want to go with it. And so that's what I was doing. Then in December, we have another guest. She's someone that used to live here in Boise. And I went to one of her classes. And in one of her classes, she's intuitive and more. And in her class, she, as a gift to each one of us, there's about 15, 20 people there. In her class, she wanted to give everybody a little mini reading. And I okay. So she just kind of called on people in general. And I think I was the third one that she called on. I go, okay, I'm intuitive. There's not much you can tell me. And if you can get it right, I will believe everything you say. And she looked at me and she said something to me that no one knows except me. And I went, what? And then I got embarrassed because she said it in front of everyone. She goes, you can do this. And I go, don't say that to people. And anyway, I went, wow, this lady has it, because she told me something about myself. Never met her before. She could have Googled me and emailed, and looked at me up and stuff, but she wouldn't have known this subject matter. And I go, no, and really knows that. I don't announce that. And so I believed her from that time on, and we kind of became friends a little bit. We were going to do a show together, and we just never did. But now we're going to do a show together. And of course, she moved to Georgia. And so she has a book out also. And I have this book I bought from that class. She'd had it out for a while. And then she had some oracle cards that she's done also. And it's called The Spirited Human: Proactive Tools for a Reactive World. She works really a lot with shadow, working with your shadows and rectifying your lives. And she does it with humor, though. She's quite the interesting lady, a fun lady, and she knows what she's talking about. And so this is her book. So she's going to be December. We haven't figured out when in December yet. We're going to meet up with her pretty soon, since she's in Georgia. And we'll probably pre-tape it and then post it on a Sunday in December. But she will be really interesting. She has a lot of personal stories in here. And let's see, she has this big, let me see if I can find it. Both her and Sharon have this big, long lineage of what they are and what they do and what they're trained in. And I know Morgan has been on TV. Let me see. Let me see if she has like a biography. No. So anyway, we'll go through that. But she's a really cool lady. This is a picture of her. Her hair's gray now. She stopped coloring it. I'm not doing that yet. I'm hanging on to the dark hair. But she's cool. So we are going to talk with her in December. She's going to be a guest. And then we're trying to get, then I have, she doesn't have a book, but she has something, Cindy Carter, and she is in Washington State, I think. And she's a Bigfoot whisperer, but she's more, she's intuitive. She's galactic. She has this machine that I've talked about before, this machine. And we are going to talk about this machine. It's kind of an aura cleanse, and it's amazing how it reads you, and it can read what you're doing in the day, where your highs and lows are. It's kind of this energy thing, and it doesn't even have to be in the same town. She knows what's going on in your life by just this machine. So we're going to talk about that, I think, in January. And we're trying to get Samuel Chong on too. I'll have to talk to Brad about that on Unveiling the Truth. And then hopefully in February, March, I'm relying on Brad to see if he can get this. It's a friend of his, and her name's Volha, and she is from Mount Shasta. She wrote this book while she was at Shasta, and she is a QHHP practitioner, and she lives in California. And so I haven't read this yet, but it'll be interesting. And this is what I want to do. I want to go live on the coast, and I want to go to the redwoods, and I want to go to Mount Shasta, and I just want to write. So you think I can write now? Wait till you see me write at Mount Shasta. And also, underneath Mount Shasta, I was at a class last night, a meetup, and they were talking about Talos, which is under Mount Shasta in the inner earth. It's another dimension, and I've channeled in Mount Shasta, not under, well, no, I guess I did kind of go under Mount Shasta too, but I did kind of go in Mount Shasta. And Mount Shasta is very interesting to me because I feel like I've been there before. I even feel like I have a room there. I know that sounds weird, but it's like the Flintstones. They have carved out rooms with a bed, and then you just go in there and sleep, and then you come out and go to work. And it's so funny. I can see my room, and I always come out of my room, and there's a tree of life in the center of Mount Shasta, and then it has seraphim all around it, and it's big. I mean, it's huge, so it's inside a mountain. And then everybody's working. You got Pleiadians, you got tall whites, you got all sorts of Lyran races, you got all races hanging out there doing jobs. And I was human, and I was doing a job too. Like, everybody knew who I was, so it was very interesting channeling that. And let's see, I think that's it on that. So today I kind of wanted to cover something because it was very important, what I read, and it might have gotten just kind of not defined enough. And so I want to define it more and maybe channel about it. So, as we were talking about shadow people, giving experiences, telling our analogy, what we studied, and I really, that show was really comfortable. It was a real comfortable show, and I'm really glad I picked Brad to do this new podcast with me, because we're starting to complement each other. We're starting to get in the groove, and we're starting to complement each other, and it's starting to really work well as we get to know each other. So I'm really happy about that. Oh, and I want to talk to you too. We have another hiccup on the oracle cards. They misprinted the booklets on the top, and it's just a little faux pas. We could have kept it, but why would we keep it when they already knew how to print it correctly? So they printed 560 booklets wrong. And so now we're going back through, and they are printing another 560 booklets for us. So we might as well do it right. If we're going to do it right. They should have showed us to us prior to them printing it and say, hey, does everything look good? Here's the, what it looks like. And we would say, no, don't print that. And it's just a thing where when you open up the book, it creases the title. And so we had them shrink it, move it over a little bit where it didn't crease that title. So it might not be here till January. I don't know. We don't know. So hold on, everybody. Something's happening with these oracle cards. And so when they come, you better buy them. So they're going to go fast. And I think with the attacks I'm getting on Amazon. Amazon hasn't done anything about my Amazon review attacks. That started November 1st and November 2nd. We know who they are. We have a link to who they are. Michael and I have been working fervently on trying to remove these lies because anybody on Amazon can leave a review. You don't even have to read the book. If you just have someone that's kind of against you, they can leave bad reviews on all your books. So they left bad reviews on 4 of my books. Of course, the few books that they left that were set that have about 15 5-star reviews, it's okay. That book will survive. It'll kind of drown out those bad reviews. But on my new book, it's tanking it. And so usually I have dozens of sales on new books, and I don't. So Amazon's done nothing. They've not contacted me. I've given them all the information, and I have to wait. But as I wait, it discourages people to buy the book. So I'm going to probably pull around Thanksgiving. I'll have time. I'll probably pull my Divinity off. That's the one that they attack the most. Only believe in reviews that are verified purchasers. Just so you guys know, a verified purchaser is someone that purchased the book. Anybody else can leave any kind of review they want, good or bad. And so it's up to your discretion, but I'll probably pull that book because it's already going to be tanked. If they don't rectify the situation, probably in a week, I'll just pull it, and I'm going to sell it on Etsy, and it'll be the same price, free shipping also. And then I'll sign it for you and maybe add a few little trinkets in there too. So it'd be kind of fun. we'll do that. Adam's Echo is my third book. It's the man's book. And I'm thinking, how did I write a man's book? I don't know anything about men. I go, how did I do this? It is the most amazing book. I, writing it, learned so much because I had to do research. I would get information and then I go, I better know what I'm talking about. So I do research on it. Gather stories, have some poetry in there. And it's really a defined book about who men are, why they make these choices, what they're drawing from, what's not healed. And it's so funny. There's a guy on Facebook that just popped up on my Facebook feed a couple days ago. And I'm just enthralled with him because everything he's saying through men's group for healing is in my book. And I went, wow, that was total verification of that this is important. And I really feel, now that I've written it, I really feel it's important for us to support men that are trying to heal themselves because I think that's a number one key in our society is to have healthy men. And, I would say most all of us aren't raised perfectly and have issues. And so men, it's very important because we women, even though we're independent and we can take care of ourselves, we do lean on men. It's a natural order of things. And so we want to be able to lean on somebody. That's just our nature. But we need to lean on someone that's healthy and strong and knows who they are. Because if they're not, then it's just like a foundation that's in quicksand or in a wobbly foundation. And so that's what this book is. And I put journal questions throughout the men's book, really profound to make them think about the chapter, what they just read. And then at the end, I put extra pages that said journal. And then I was going to take that out thinking, men don't journal. Why would men journal? They rarely can, they don't have time to journal. I thought that was a woman's thing. And then I found out through this other man in his men's classes, journaling is huge. And I went, okay, I'm going to leave that in there because men need to journal. They need to get it out and give their thoughts out. So that being said, I'm super excited about that. I'm going to add a couple more things to the book. I'm kind of have it on hold right now because I'm not done with it. I feel like it's kind of like when I do readings, I will email the client and say, I'm going to be a little bit late on your reading because I'm not done and I don't know why. So I have to wait. And usually people are cool with that because they want to know what I have to say. So it's kind of like that with this book. And hopefully next week I'll get it into the formatter and then we'll get it to, we'll probably broadcast it that it will be opened up probably right after Thanksgiving. So hopefully everybody's going to have a good time on Thanksgiving. And I'm doing my usual. We have a singles crowd here that I've been doing it for like 15 years. And so it's kind of fun. Then I just come home and I don't have to deal with the mess and stuff. So, okay. So let's talk about shadow people. So I, as I was figuring out the podcast and thinking about it and structuring what I wanted to talk about, of course, automatic writing just kind of hits me. Like I lay down in bed and then automatic writing hits me. So I decided to write. And so I'm going to read to you what I wrote about shadow people. And then maybe you guys might want to pop over to Unveiling the Truth 333 and get more information. And so let me read this to you. It's about 4 pages. So bear with me. It said, this is coming from actually, I don't know who it was coming from. I think it was a shadow person. I think it was the hat man, the man that shows up in a hat. There's the hat man. There is the hooded figure. We didn't cover the old hag. And if I ever saw the old hag sitting on my chest, I would probably freak out. Um, so we try to keep it where we didn't scare you. But I guess it's a thing, this old hag, and it's a woman, and she sits on your chest and usually men's chest, and she has claws. It's just like she looks like an old hag. And yeah, that would petrify me. I would be not happy about that. So let me read this to you. So we are the ethereal, which means otherworldly visions, and eternal. We appear and disappear. We can be both benevolent and malevolent. We project upon you who you are and what you summon. I thought that was an interesting statement. Thus, our presence, either way, we make ourselves known to you due to your own consciousness. We are an energy field transposed indefinite. As we are energy, so is your body. We match your energy grid, which we then can control the mind's frequency, which in a realm makes you believe you are paralyzed. So that's how they do the paralyzation, the sleep paralysis. You actually are not in sleep paralysis. We just put that into your consciousness like a magic trick or a spell. That was a great answer. I mean, that was kind of amazing. So our mind thinks we're in sleep paralysis. We can't speak, we can't move, only our eyes can see. And it's just a magic trick. It's energy they put into us. They just tell our mind that. And I thought, wow. So how do we get out of that? I'm gonna have to figure that one out. So like, how do we get out of that? We are interdimensional, this shadow person said, and can appear in many different tangible forms. We do. Why do we visit humans? Because we are a altered state. We are a curious energy. We study you as you are unconscious. And when we are ready, we show ourselves to you. As we alter your state of being, we can absorb your memories and your intergalactic lives. Thought that was pretty cool. We can read you like a book. We see language and pictures like a movie. That is why we stare at you. So, a lot of times when you wake up, they're just staring at you. Well, they're not staring at you, at your body. They're staring at what they're seeing, at what they're viewing, what they're pulling out of you. That's what they're staring at. So, that I thought was a really interesting concept. We can pull this out of you for our own information. Your body is just a conduit. As for this one, and then he starts talking about me, she is what we look for and have a hard time attaining. If we can alter her state into a low vibration by life's advantages of he said this really weird, by life's advantages of disheartedness and sadness, then we can match her frequency. So basically, maybe that's why I've been getting hit so hard by a lot of different avenues of my life where I'm just going along my path and then boom, something knocks me off my path. And I get up, go back on, boom, something knocks me off my path. I go, what the heck is happening? And especially this Amazon thing. I mean, that just like, boom, that just like came out of left field. It was like, what is happening? Why is this happening? And nothing's happening. So it's just like, when is this going to resolve? So if they can bring a person's frequency down to their frequency, it says then they can match it and use her as a sonography type like structure, which is interesting because when I worked at OBGYN, the sonogram, so it's kind of like a machine or something. So think about that. See what you guys think. And we can transmute messages through her to outer dimensions like a transmitter. When we touch you, it is not that we care about you. We are using your energy for fulfilling our messages to the outside realms. So it's kind of like Morse code. Doot, 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 doot. They're using us to transmute to their people what they need or where they are, or say, pick me up. I'm out of here. So I thought that was very interesting. So this gives you a whole different look at shadow people. Let's see. Let's see. Fulfill our messages to outside realms. We need many of you to do this. But this one, me, became wise to us and canceled us out. So we find another low in frequency. We cannot use those of any type of that have pretty much have any type of addiction or heavy medication. So, and I think maybe what he's talking about is people that knock themselves at night out with certain sleep medication that they can't use them. I think they need a certain type of vibration and it can't be altered, put it that way. Their altered, yeah, there we go. Their altered state has to be natural and brought down to a deep depression or great disappointment. Then we can match that energy for transmission. You could say we are dimensionally imprisoned here. Your world has more vortexes than we, more vortexes that are complex and dangerous. So I thought that was very interesting because I think we humans know how dangerous vortexes are for people that disappear, 411, and people that are found later after it's been searched for and they're all burnt. They've gotten caught in a vortex, and vortexes are energy. And I think if you're not wearing what you need to wear for protection, we can get ourselves burnt up because we're too delicate. It's just not made for us. If we alter a code, he says, wrong, we remain stuck until we can rectify the situation. And we found we can transmit from you humans. So that's what they're doing. But when we find one like this one, we become greatly curious of her nations. That was an interesting word that he said. Yes. And then I must have said, wow, that's crazy what you just said. And then it said, yes, many of you have spiritual nations in you, in us. So that one we might want to explore a little bit. Some of you, the light is so brilliant, we desire it, even though it is forbidden. And your protectors can cancel us altogether. So basically, they could eradicate them, I do believe. That is what happened to the shadow figure. The story is on the other show that I said. The shadow figure that was becoming too close to this entity, which is me. He was charged. He must have had a court and forever canceled. So they expunged him. Those that appear with hats and trench coats are the transmitters. They are the strongest. The mist, like that black mist that we talked about, is the cleverest and is the searcher for the right souls to use for our needs. So I think I'm talking about a black hat guy who's talking through me. As you know, as you now see, we don't want you. We use you for our needs only to get out of the vortex. So many of us are trapped in. We know of existence, and we live on the ethereal plane of codes, sequences, and energy. You could call us miners of the dimensions. We come here to take the energy. So that's why they're coming down to this planet, is to take energy. Like lightning, we use that form of energy to live. We see everything as numbers and codes. So we are here, as you would say energetically, or energetic vampires. So they're here to draw our energy out for their own needs. And we can even drain your energy to make us stronger and see clearer, to get out of the vortex we are imprisoned in. We are here to take as much energy as we can. Every aspect of your world is usable, the seen and the unseen. And I thought that was very interesting that every aspect of this world can be mined by all different entities. And Brad and I talked about that. Like, how many entities are coming down here? Malevolent, benevolent, scientist, middle of the road, cow mutilations, and they take these entities take everything from this planet. It's a wealth of environment. It's a wealth of you know, minerals and energy. So you have energy entities, which are the black shadow people, that they are energy and they need energy to be energy. So I thought that was really interesting. Um, so I'd like to know how we can break out of sleep paralysis. And because if it's in our mind, but it's just like a guy that would hypnotize you, and you do whatever he says. I think you can stop at a point, but you do everything he says. And so let me see. I like to talk to Cassandra, my guide, because when these shadow people are here, where are our protections? Where is the angels? Where is my guide? And I'm finding that they can kick her out of my house because there's times where my rods go crazy and say weird things, and I go, where are you, Cassandra? So when I cleanse, then she comes back. So somehow these energies can kick out our protectors. And so so my thought for you before I channel is to keep your vibration high. And sometimes if you feel like you're being attacked by outside influences, don't let it get you down, because that's what they want. Then they win, and then they can use you. And so maybe think outside the box a little bit and say, nope, I'm not going there. And like yesterday morning, I kind of laid in bed because I was really tired. And I usually get up about 2 and start working on the book or doing something, and then I go back to bed. So I woke up and I decided just to scroll on my phone. So I'm scrolling, I go into Facebook, and then you know how they have those shorts, and some of them are hilarious. So I talk about this on the other channel. And so I'm laughing and laughing, and then I wasted a whole freaking hour doing that. And then going, I can't believe I did that. But I think I needed to do that, because what it did is it lifted my vibration by laughing, even though it's over stupid stuff. And I love the app where you see a spider crawling across your face, and it's an app, and then people are looking at it, and then they start slapping themselves all around, and you see men scream. It's like hilarious. That was my favorite. And then there was a hotel one that I talk about that was really good. And then I learned that I say a lot, so I gotta stop doing that, because I noticed I said that in the last podcast. I have to stop saying It's a bad habit I got into over the years. So let's do channeling. Let's bring in Cassandra and maybe talk about what happens when these shadow people come into our homes and make themselves known or unknown. And where does our protection go? Why is that? Like I said to Brad, I go, why is that loud? Where's the God code? Why is it loud? This shouldn't be allowed. And I'm just thinking, everything's so organized and detailed. All the books I've written about different alien species, everything's so organized. But the planet here, we have free will. And I go, so that's where the disorganization and the breakdown happens, because we haven't got who we are, and we haven't attained what we are, and we are veiled, and there's a purpose for that. So bear with me. I'm going to go into Cassandra. Let's see if I can move this back. You know me, I like to bend over when I channel. And I have a new setup, so it's kind of big. So it's just going to have to stay close. Hold on. Oops. And I forget I have a touch screen, so I don't want to do that. Okay. And you know, people have commented like, how do you get your hands like this? Because I don't have any arms. It's because this is my bed and I have to do the splits to get close to you. And so these are my legs. So that's when you see me go like that. That's because I have my hands on my legs because I'm in the splits right now. So no, I'm not going to channel Cassandra. Hold on. Someone is saying hello, my friend. Usually that's Sasquatch, but I don't think this is Sasquatch. Who is this? This is... this being that's coming forward, it says, I'm a shadow snatcher. I'm a shadow snatcher. What the heck? And he is huge. He's probably big, like a Bigfoot, but he just has no hair. He's muscular. He has a almost looks like Roman garb on, like in war. How they have that breastplate that's metal, and then the skirt like thing with their big hairy legs. He has big hairy arms. His long hair, almost like a dreadlocky hair, and his face is huge. Is huge, and he has a big, thick forehead, where his forehead comes way out like this, and then it has like wrinkles that go like this. Like there's just a lot of skin, and there's creases like right here, right here, right here, all the way down to his nose. His eyes are yellow. They're all yellow. He has no white in his eyes. They're just yellow with a little pupil. And he's calling me his friend. Hello, my friend. He goes, hello, my friend. It's like really deep. Hello, my friend. It's kind of like, who are you? He goes, do you want to know my name or the name that you call me? Both. He goes, in your other form, you worked with me. You worked with me in outside realms upon this planet. And we called ourselves the Shadow Snatchers. Because you humans have humor. Not many species have humor because they're too intelligent, but you and Alon have humor. And so you and I started a task force to protect people upon the planet. And we called ourselves the Shadow Snatchers. And we are a group. We are like a mercenary group. There's my people and your people. And whoever we recruit that wants to come down. Because these are irritants, these shadow people. They are, they need to be eradicated. They're kind of, and they grow. Little did you know that they can break off and grow another. So if you see a tall hat man, he can break off and grow another just like him. So that's why you see repetitive personages of darkness. They're usually not evil, but they can be malevolent because they like to be that way because they don't like you. They don't like humans. And if they're not getting what they want, they get very irritated. They don't have feelings, so don't think that they hate. They don't hate, they don't love, but they are curious for who you are, why you are, and what you're all about. And then they bring that information to their home base. And then it is used against you. And it is correct. They get caught in vortexes, and that's the ones that we go after because they're the ones that are doing most of the damage upon this planet. Oh, you want to know my name. Let me go back. I apologize. So, this is Robin laughing. I'm sorry. Him and I had a crazy relationship, and it was a fun relationship. Okay. He says I called him Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar. Why? He said, you said because he was a just grumpy old man, and that's how I can get. And you kept calling me Nebuchadnezzar. You're a Nebuchadnezzar. I didn't know what that meant. My name is Goff, Goff. I'm a species from outside sources. There's not many of us. I would say maybe upon your planet a few hundred. Our jobs is to eradicate these dark sources that are here because they are just irritating and they do damage, and we eradicate them when we can catch them. What Robin said in the other, what do you call it as a podcast? She said that she called upon her uncle. That wasn't her uncle that came. Her uncle couldn't cross the barrier to save her like that. He didn't have enough strength. So he called upon us. And since we know you, I came. That was me that came and took out that entity. Never to be again. He became eradicated instantly. Yes, he had a tribunal or your courts, whatever you call it, but that's what we have to do because everything is in order. And then, boom, we have ways to eradicate this energy where it is no more. Not every time do we have to do it that way, but a lot of times we do that because we want to see what they want. And we want to see why they're focusing on a certain person. So we actually get intel and we interrogate them. Put it that way. This vessel was good at that. She has a lot of different areas of expertise, and this was her fun. This is my fun. Sorry, it's Robin laughing. And Alon, and it was impossible to work with both of them because they were never serious, but skilled at the same time. Many of you here that are watching this that are seekers, you have a feeling that you understand what we're saying. And if you do have an inkling of understanding of what we're saying, that means you are one also. You have rode with us, served with us. And a lot of times you don't stay. You go back and forth. We're just of a segment of volatility, and a lot of species don't stay. They just do like volunteer work, you could say, and they volunteer for a season or two. So you want me to talk to you about the nations in you? Yeah, I never heard that before. That's just Robin speaking. Many of you that don't know, I can bounce in and out and have a two-way conversation as I channel. So hold on. Correct. The nations. What does a nation mean to you? You know what a nation means to you, but it is a different segment here. Nations are levels, dimensions, and alterations to your cosmic being. Now, this cosmic being is something different than who you are. It is an extension outside of yourself. So when you were talking about the Indian nations, talking about a shadow and a human, that actually is a sense that is correct, but yet incorrect. They were talking about the sense that there is duality and there is a cosmic center to humans. This is what grounds you upon your planet. This is what completes your function as a human. This is where you get your downloads from, and it is very common and it's very prominent in every soul upon the planet. Now you can lose this cosmic center, cosmic, if you do not attain. See, let me explain something that I know of is when you come down upon this earth, and all I know is from this vessel and what she has gone through. She chose to go through what she went through, and she chose to go through a really hard walk at a very young age. It's not something that we liked to watch, and we could not help. She said, I'm going in, and I'm going to go in hard, and then I'm going to come out, and I'm going to come out soft. She did it. So think about that in your life, that there's something outside of you before you come down upon this planet, and you decide what you want to go through, hard or soft. And those that come in hard, there's a reason why you're doing that. There is a type of, how do I expand it? A balance, a community, justification that you need of your soul, your mind. See, most of you that come in hard, like this vessel, you're at the end of your time. Your Akashic records are almost tied up. And so you know that you got to get this stuff done. And you want to do it all at one time. Put it that way. You don't want to keep coming down, do it a little bit. You go, no, come in hard. Let's get it done and let's get through it. Unfortunately, some people can't get through it when they decide to come in hard. They take themselves out through addiction, other means of taking their lives. They can't take it anymore because they weren't actually ready to come in hard. So think of that. We want you to know you're never alone. And yes, when these energies come into your home, into your room, it blocks out your guides, and the angels are standing. You need to understand something about angels and archangels. You have to ask them in. They can't just come in and decide for you that you need help. You have to ask for help. You need to ask. So once you ask, it is given. So that's something that you humans are slowly understanding, but not fully. That you need to ask, because angels cannot step over that boundary unless you ask in. So remember that in times of need, times of controversy, that you need help. Because we knew you couldn't walk alone. That's why you have so many avenues of help, is because we knew you're coming in hard and you got to pull out. And you got to pull out safely with the least amount of damage. That's the key, is to pull out with the least amount of damage and then return home. And then you will be closer to that completion. So hopefully this gives you an inkling of hope that your childhood, your past, how horrible it was, you knew you had to do it. And where are you now? Have you come out hard? Have you come out soft? Have you come out complete? The less war wounds you can carry with you, the better. And that's what this time is now. Your space and dimension is to clear stuff out. Clear it out. We're coming to a close here. So it's time to clear it out. And then when you do clear it out, it is your responsibility to help others clear it out and have them be aware of what's happening. Because there's only few people that can give you this type of information. And once it's out there, it's out there. And then you spread it. You talk about it to others. Those that want to hear, those that want to listen. Not everybody is ready. You know that. You can decipher who can hear this and who cannot. And those people that are attracted here are the ones that are seekers. They're seekers of their soul because they know that something's amiss. They're not quite there yet. So they're seeking, they're seeking, they're seeking. And they know when they hit the golden God nugget. And that's here. I love you, my friend. Okay. Nebuchadnezzar, we're out. Okay. We're out. Okay. That was good information. Okay. Wow. I'm going to listen to that one again. That was really good. So, okay, you guys, we just have a few people on here. It's so funny. My lives, they build steam. And then so it takes a few days. So peace out. I love you guys. Thank you for everything you've given me. It was very good. That was really good. So listen to it over and over. Be a seeker. Always be a seeker. And then give. Bye, guys.